Young Avengers characters spread across various Phase 4 projects. And I have a feeling once all those characters are introduced and in the MCU, they will release either a Young Avengers movie or a Young Avengers Disney Plus series late in Phase 5. And I have a feeling that it will probably end up being a Disney Plus series and not a movie, but that the Young Avengers characters that are introduced will still appear in some of the MCU films, like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Ant-Man 3, for example. So what
I'm
we're
back.
going to do is go through each Phase 4 movie or Disney Plus show
Of course, this
that
my
is
way was one of the end of the
likely
streak.
to introduce one or more of the Young Avengers team members and go through how they can be introduced in said project. And also, we're going to talk about who their potential mentor could be, because I also think that Marvel Studios is setting up each of these individual Young Avengers characters to have a mentor figure that is either a hero or was an Avenger. Maybe not every character, but at least most of them. So let's start out with the most obvious case of a mentor-mentee relationship we will see in Phase 4, and that is in the Hawkeye series. And this one is pretty easy because we know that Kate Bishop will be introduced in the Hawkeye series and that her mentor will be Clint Barton, who's teaching her how to become the new Hawkeye. And Kate Bishop is definitely an integral part of the original Young Avengers lineup in the comics. So I have no doubt that she will be involved with the MCU version of the Young Avengers once we get there. And we'll talk more about Kate in a minute, but the next show on the list is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's a steal, man.
And again, this one seems likely.
Yo, this freaking game, man.
At least we're pretty certain that Isaiah Bradley is going to be introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and is going to play an important role as the old super soldier who tells Sam Wilson about the corruption in the super soldier program of decades past. And I know in Falcon and the Winter Soldier we are going to see John Walker taking on the mantle of Captain America and getting Cap's shield that Steve Rogers gave to Sam Wilson at the end of Endgame. But that said, I still think it's pretty likely that by the end of the Falcon and Winter Soldier series that Sam Wilson will get the shield back and will end up taking on the mantle of Captain America for himself. And I have a feeling that Isaiah Bradley is probably going to play an important role in Sam deciding to do that. And in the comics, Isaiah's grandson is Elijah Bradley, or Eli Bradley, who in the original Young Avengers series becomes the teen hero Patriot. And on a little quick side note, Ryan Coogler actually revealed a while back that Marvel Studios almost introduced Patriot in the first Black Panther movie. So they've definitely had discussions about potentially bringing him into the MCU. So I think there's a good chance that with Isaiah Bradley being introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we could also see Eli Bradley being introduced as well, or at the very least referenced so it's confirmed that he does exist. And that, of course, would set him up to be one of the original members of the Young Avengers in Phase 5, the same way that he was in the comics. And if Eli is introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and he meets Sam Wilson, then I could see them sort of setting Sam Wilson up to play a mentor role to him. Now, I don't think their relationship would be the same as Kate Bishop and Hawkeye's relationship, where Sam is training Eli or anything like that. But I could see Sam being that hero character that Patriot can go and talk to, and Sam can kind of give him advice and stuff like that. And then the next project on the list is, of course, Ant-Man 3. And I'm actually going to keep this section on Ant-Man 3 pretty short because we're going to get to this one in a minute. But this one is also easy because in the comics, one of the original Young Avengers is Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie Lang, who becomes like the teen version of Ant-Man, and she is called Stature. And with Cassie now being a teenager after the time jump in Avengers Endgame, it makes it much easier for this to happen. And another thing is that Cassie becoming Stature in the MCU has actually already been hinted at multiple times, mostly in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You could just leave him back. Like a partner.
What do you think?
I'd be a great partner.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, I definitely think that Cassie will become Stature in Ant-Man 3, and obviously her mentor figure will be her dad, Scott, and probably also Hope to a certain degree as well. Then the next movie on the list is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this one might seem a little bit more unexpected to be on the list. However, we recently got what basically equals confirmation that America Chavez, aka Miss America, will actually be introduced in Doctor Strange 2. And this has been something that's been rumored for quite a few months now, but like I said, we now know that it's basically been confirmed due to a leaked casting video that was put online and then quickly taken down by Disney. And we know from the leaked dialogue in that tape that, like in the comics, Miss America will come from a
Wow.
within the multiverse.
Don't let me turn
In the
around.
comics, America Chavez was not actually a part of the original Young Avengers lineup, but she did end up becoming a part of the team later on. So I'm not quite sure yet if she will end up being a part of the first iteration that we see of the Young Avengers in the MCU. So it seems likely
I'm gonna have a legal screen, man.
first iteration of the team, then she will play into Marvel Studios' future plans for the team at some point afterwards. But anyways, let's move on to the next project, and this one is probably the most important project we've talked about so far in regards
It's gonna let me do a regular jump shot. He's jumping from mad far.
and that is WandaVision.
Alright, one stop. Let me do that long ass jump shot.
Mary, and why don't you have children yet? Our story.
Okay, so in WandaVision,
Come on.
there's actually 3 Young Avengers characters I think we could possibly see introduced. The first 2 are obviously Wanda's twins, Tommy and Billy. And another reason we have to believe that they will be introduced in the show, and this is a big one, is just like the leaked casting video we were just talking about from Doctor Strange 2 with the auditions for America Chavez, there was also a casting tape that was leaked online a few months back for WandaVision that showed 2 elementary age boys to potentially be cast as the elementary age version of Tommy and Billy. Another thing this tape tells us, or at least seems to suggest, is that we are also going to see the return of Quicksilver in WandaVision because one of the kids in the tape, when he's reading dialogue, makes reference to his sleeping uncle. And the way that we are probably going to see Tommy, Billy, Vision, and maybe also Quicksilver return in the WandaVision series, and how Tommy and Billy will likely be able to end up growing from toddlers to second graders within one season of the
Yes.
show is
Hell of a game, guys.
the fact that they are creations of Wanda that she made using her reality.
What a win.
magic.
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
And in the comics, Wanda's twins end up becoming the team heroes Wiccan and Speed. Tommy becomes Speed, and he has a power set similar to his uncle, Quicksilver. And Billy becomes Wiccan, and he has powers similar to his mother Wanda, and also a little bit similar to Doctor Strange. And Wanda, using her reality-altering magic to create Tommy and Billy, will likely also be why they grow to be teens so fast in time for them to be a part of the